welcome to. This is not a book review. Like I said in my last video, this is gonna be. I'm comparing Strange Weather in Tokyo by Haruki Murakami with Murakami. Now I have like two Murakami books. I'm not going to compare it to a specific Murakami book, but just in general. And I'm not going to spoil Murakami, or if I do, I'm going to warn you. But because I have read by Murakami, I've read Norwegian Wood and Kafka on the Shore, which I have here. And 1Q84, Sputnik Sweetheart, I think is the English title. And was that everything? I think so. Yes, I think that's all the Murakami books I've read. So I only read this one by Kawakami. I don't really know much about her. But I read this book, and the last video was a book review, and then it will be more about just only this book. So you should probably, I feel like you should watch that first, because then I talk more about my feelings regarding this book. But this one is also like kind of part of the review of this book, because like here, like two of those things on the back of the book is talking about Murakami's, and I started reading this book because someone was like, saw me reading Murakami and was like, you should read this book. So it's definitely, like, of course it makes sense to compare them. Now when reading it, definitely did get the feel that I was kind of reading a Murakami book. I was like, oh, this is kind of similar. I don't know, like, I guess like maybe the sentences and this, both of them are kind of easy to read and like moves along fast, and doesn't have a lot of characters, and the characters are kind of peculiar. Now, comparing Murakami's character to the characters in this book, I think that Murakami has way better characters. I think they're way more, and that's like the main thing, is that I think that Murakami's characters are fun. They're kind of like John Green's characters, where it's like they have like two quirks, and that's like their personalities, like those two quirks. Like in Norwegian Wood, he has, like, the main character has a roommate, and his personality is that he's really clean, and also he loves maps, which is like a weird hobby to have. And they always have that kind of thing, like they love this kind of weird thing. Like other characters, it's just like talking to cats, or like, I don't know. And in John Green, they're like collecting black Santas, or making like a love formula, or like, I don't know. And I've talked a lot about this in other videos, so you should watch those too, about how I really like how easy it is to follow Murakami books, because the characters are really easy to remember. Also, my eyebrows look so good. Like, I plucked them for the first time in like ages, and also I rarely pluck them this thin, but honestly, I'm like loving it. I'm so lazy, and also like it's really painful, but I've started to like, it wasn't that bad this time, so maybe I'll continue, because like I really like this look. And yeah. Oh my god, I have like hair in my throat. I think maybe I have like eyebrow hair. Now for the characters in this book, still it's all like spoiler free, but it's just, oh my god, I have hair in my throat. I mean, it felt like they were like kind of quirky, and they kind of had like their own thing going on, but not like all the way, which I just found boring. Like, I don't know. The characters were just like, I mean, they were kind of nice, but it was also really impersonal. Like, I just feel like we didn't really get to, I mean, of course, like, the main character in Strange Weather in Tokyo is really weird, and that's kind of like the thing, but it's just, and kind of strange, and it's difficult to get to know her, and she doesn't really have any friends, and neither does the teacher that she befriends, because they're both like weird, and like but still, like, it was just kind of bland. And in a way, it worked that they were so bland, that the characters were so bland. But in a different way, it's like I didn't really care that much for the characters. Like, it was not the characters that drove me to finish this book. Like, I finished this book and I enjoyed this book because it was easy. It was easy and the story moved along quickly. And it was short. But like, I did not the characters were not the reason why I read this book or I finished this book, because like they were boring. They were oh, the teacher was like a hoarder, and kind of that's kind of quirky. He's like collecting old batteries, and of course your character doesn't have to be quirky. It's just, if you're not going to make a really well-rounded character that has like a bunch of personality traits and is like has an entire past and like reacts to stuff differently, it's just like you really get to feel like this is a person. Unless you like write an actual person, then I think you should go the John Green Murakami route, where it's just like they have like these two things about them that's really fun and like kind of strange, but it's fun to read about. That's how I like reading books. Like, either they're really good characters that has a lot of backstory and bunch of stuff and you care for them, or you care for them because it's like, oh, they're fun. But yeah, I didn't really care for, I mean, I like them, I like the characters, which is good, because like sometimes you literally just dislike a character, like an anti-hero, or I mean, they weren't that boring. They weren't so boring that I didn't like them, because of course if they were more boring, they were kind of fun and kind of, yeah, because then I would just be like, I hate it. And also they weren't like terrible people too. I mean, I don't know, the theater I watched yesterday, because I made the last video yesterday, and I said I was gonna go to the theater, and I watched it, and it was just terrible. Like, the characters were so unlikable, and it wasn't anti-hero stuff at all. But also it was just annoying, because it was like, I thought it was gonna be about like, or it's I shouldn't talk about this. Whatever, I'm gonna do it. It said like, oh, this is about like a 29-year-old girl who moves back into her parents' basement, and like she has some struggles and she went through some stuff, and it's like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Like, and then it was just about this dude who was married, who kind of was into her as well, and it was just like, are you kidding me? And like, there was 3 females, and one was a mother, and the two other was in this love triangle. It was just about like this dude, like, and he talked so much too, and it was just disappointing. Like, at least say, tell us what it's about, because it was about this dude who like was into 2 girls and was married and had children, but he was like, oh, she's pretty cool, she's pretty cute, but she's depressed though. And it was just, oh, why would you trick us into watching this? Like, some people like that, and watching like a dude be like, oh no, I am too popular, and that's fine. Like, but then don't advertise, so like those people won't come and see your show, but the people who are like interested in like strong female characters are like kind of disappointed. I don't know. Back to the strong female characters. I don't know if she was a strong female character. I mean, she was cool. I like the Tsukiko son, Miss Tsukiko. But yeah. More about Murakami versus Kawakami is, they have similar names. Kami, which isn't that hair in Japanese? I feel like Kami is hair, but Kami-sama is God, and sama means like, that's like a, like Japanese have honorifics. So it's like, because her name, she was probably being called Tsukiko-san in the Japanese version, but here they translated to Tsukiko Miss Tsukiko, which was like really weird, because no one uses that anymore, but I guess it was kind of old anyway. Is that even her name? Have I forgotten her name? Anyway, Sama is like a different honorific, and it was like very nice. So I wonder, are they both like God? I mean, I am comparing them, so it's relevant. I think that I also kind of thought, oh, Strange Weather in Tokyo, so I was kind of expecting the magical realism in Murakami's book, because he's all like, oh, ooh, something kind of weird is going on. It's not really magic. It's not really fantasy or sci-fi. It's just like something weird is going on. It's a little bit out of the ordinary, which I really like. I think that's really cool, actually. I really enjoy how it's just like, oh, okay, there's some strange stuff going on, but it's not like a big deal. It's just like this kind of, oh, okay, yeah, now I feel in my body I have to do this thing that's like super weird, but it's just like getting this rock or whatever. And I kind of thought that this would also be magical realism, because it's called Strange Weather in Tokyo, and everyone keeps comparing her to Murakami. So I was like, oh, okay, is this gonna be raining fish or something? Like, is that gonna happen? But I don't know. That didn't happen. There was also like, oh, I remember another thing that I can compare them. There was a dream sequence though, and I don't know. I feel like there was probably like a bunch of stuff hidden, like that it was like a metaphor for stuff. It wasn't a dream sequence actually. She was awake and it really happened. That was kind of weird. I guess that was kind of magical realism, where it was like, oh, okay, why are they here? They're here. Why is the time moving so weirdly? And I thought it was a dream, and then the novel just went on, and it's like, oh yeah, this thing happened. It was kind of weird. So I guess, yeah, it did have a little bit magical realism, but I didn't like it. I did not like that chapter. I thought that was the worst chapter of all of them. Like, it was just weird. I mean, I feel like it was a really cool concept, and I really liked the whole thing where it was just too confusing. I don't know, like, it was just strange. Weather in Tokyo, haha. Cause in general, I hate dream sequences, cause it's like, are you kidding me? Like, this is it's just so cheap and boring, and I hate it. But this chapter is called, oh, I can't translate that, but a dream. It's something that's like feathers, in the feathers. No, it's not feathers, because it's actually, we have the same words for feathers, and it's also like something where it's like water or something. I don't know. Oh, I put on some greasy stuff so the pages are wrinkly. Well, I thought that was weird. It was weird, and and also I kept expecting the characters to be more fun, because of the writing style is kind of similar to Murakami, so I kind of kept expecting like, oh, okay, when is the weird stuff gonna happen with the characters? Because the bartender, the Satoru, he was kind of fun. But he was just kind of fun. I feel like if Murakami had written that character, he would just be a tiny bit more fun. He would just add like a tiny bit one other fact about him that would make him funny. Also, I didn't like how the bartender was just there, and then he like disappeared, or he was still there, but I just wish he had a bigger, I mean, of course he's a side character, but still, I just feel like it was kind of weird how they went on like picking mushroom with him, and it's like, I mean, this isn't really spoiler, so I can say, but like, if I were me, I am me. If I were you, and if you were me, wait. If I was watching a video talking about this book, I feel like just read it, because it's 196 pages long. It's like hella short, so just read it. It's nice. I liked it, but I wouldn't recommend it really. Maybe. I think it was a chill book. I did like how sometimes like the dialogue merged into the writer's voice. I don't know how to say this, but I kind of like that. Oh my god, I just like in the last video, I do this thing where I just like the dry shampoo, and then I was like, oh, okay, now I can like comb it through my hair, but still it was like something happened. I got like a patch that's like crispy. I should probably stop doing that then. Oh well. Oh, I look so cute now. I love this. This is a new dress. I bought it in Sweden because I had like an hour in Sweden where I was in Sweden for like a day, but I had like 1 hour where I wasn't busy, and I bought this, and I really like it. It's like a dress, and it has pockets. How amazing is that? And also, I washed my blouses, which I really like, because that was difficult. Um, Actually, first I forgot to turn on the water, and then I washed them, and it worked. But I was really scared because it was the first time. Because this is really new. I bought this one like last month, and I wore it like a couple times, and then it was dirty, and then I just didn't wear it, and along with some other stuff. And but now I have enough blouses to fill up the washing machine, so that's really nice. Because I was kind of worried, like, oh, I'm never gonna wear this ever again because I don't know how to wash it. But I just put it on like 30 degrees and 900. My phone is ringing. Oh no. It's probably my mom. I'm gonna visit my mom later. I'm not done with talking with the book. I'm sorry. Sorry for. Oh no. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna leave right after I finish this review. I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna visit my mom, and we're gonna maybe drink some beer, maybe watch some TV series. She loves Korean dramas, I think, but I think now we're watching a Spanish one on Netflix, La Casa de las Flores or something, and House of Flowers, and yes, it's Friday, so it's a force bill. Do you have that word in English? I don't think you do. Maybe you do. I don't know. After, because you say after party and not Nachspiel. Nachspiel, because it's in German, but we say it in Norway. So another thing is, this is kind of spoilery, so like this is the point where if you haven't read it, well, actually, it's kind of what the book is about, though, so I don't know if it's a spoiler, because that's the whole thing, but it was like, you kind of saw it coming, but like if you know nothing about the book at all, then you click away. But if you do know like just one thing about the book, then you probably know, like, because this is what the book's about. So spoiler in 3, 2, 1. So the book is about how they fall in love, and I was like so disappointed, and I went on a whole rant about pedophilia in the last video, and I'm not saying that this was pedophilia. I am not, because like she's a grown ass woman, she's 38 years old, he's 68 years old. So it's really weird, but it's like she is an adult woman, so yeah. But of course it's still kind of, I mean, he was her teacher, and it was just, I don't know. But I went on a whole long rant about this, so I'm not going to talk about this. What I'm going to talk about is how Murakami also has a bunch of kind of weird relationships, and often huge age gaps. Like in 1Q84, the main character, Tengo, he's like really into older women. Like he's always been like super into like MILFs. And also just like, and like in, and I'm not gonna say it because that's spoilery, because that was just like a fact about the character. But then in his other books too, he has like some like children, teenagers who are kind of into like this old woman, but like it was magical realism though, so was he? But anyway, you know what I'm talking about if you read Murakami. Basically what he has is a bunch of kind of huge age gaps, but it's because it's magical realism, it's like they're not really dating, because it's like, and they're not really like having intercourse, because it's like it was through magic kind of. But here they're straight up dating, and but I mean it's not as bad though, because in Murakami it's like often the younger characters are way younger. It's like 15 and 40, or 17 and like 30. But here it's like 38 and 68, which is very different. So at least that's good, because they're not actually, yes. But it's just weird. I don't know. I do think that Murakami is a bit. I remember like the first time I read the book of his, I was like, wow, he has some weird sexual preferences. But apparently, like modern literature in Japan, a bunch of it centers around like sex, which was that's something I found really interesting in the seminar I went to with my grandma, where they said like, because my grandma's a translator, so she invited me, and it was really nice, because they were like, what did they say? Oh yeah, that the Japanese had always been like, oh, whatever, like sex, like that happens, that is something fun, and we all do it, or most of us do, and then the West was like, no, 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 it's gross, it's nasty, you should be ashamed, and they were like, okay, sure, it's disgusting. Oh no, we don't like sex, but they still kind of did because they were like, what the hell. And then a bunch of books were like about this taboo thing that was sex, but it wasn't really taboo because they were still like, oh, okay, I mean, what's the big deal? But oh no, of course not. Um, and because I think that, again, like, I feel like I am not making a very informed opinion because, first of all, I just went to one seminar that was like, um, modern Japanese literature in 10 minutes, and also some other talking, but like that was the history part of it. And I've read Murakami and Kawakami, and that's the only Japanese author I've read that's not anime or manga. Can't read anime. um, but I definitely did notice. That's why I'm comparing those two. But still, maybe it's like because it's Japanese literature too. It's like those two are so similar. It's because like they're both Japanese. Maybe, I don't know. But it seems like that's kind of trendy from what I've heard. Um, so, because like here too, they talk about sex in a kind of a different way that I've read in other books that's not Japanese. Because I haven't read anything else. Like they kind of talk about it in, I don't know, like it's more like, it's kind of weird. Like how do they describe sex? It's like, because I mean, it's of course it's not like, I can't remember. Have I read some other books about sex? Oh yeah, Jack Kerouac, of course. But he's more. But I feel like it's different. Is it different? I mean, he's just way different. But at the same time, his spontaneous prose is apparently very similar to, or I assume so, because from what I've heard about Japanese short stories, I think his spontaneous prose is pretty similar. But he's like, haha, yes, I had this ex, but he's like on the road and like I'm meeting this person. I haven't. Where else did I have sex? I only read Kerouac. Now this is biting me in the butt. Now that I'm trying to do reviews about other stuff. I mean, did I have sex in Brave New World? Maybe yes, but that was like very. Anyway, I feel like they describe that kind of similar, but maybe not. I think so. I think they describe it kind of similar, and because here in the end they end up having the intercourse, and it was like, because first he was like, oh no, I am an old man. I have not had the adult thing in like 10 years because my wife divorced me and died, and he hadn't really gotten any after that. And then he was also like, oh no, what if I am too old and it doesn't work? And she was like, oh no. Man, it was so weird. Why was she acting like a kid? That's what I'm wondering about. Why was she all... I mean, it kind of added to it. I think I liked the book, but at the same time, I did not. Because the age gap wasn't comfortable, especially because she kept saying that she felt like a kid. And it's like, if you feel like a kid, then it's creepy that you're having sex with your teacher. If you, like, he's 68 years old, and maybe you are 38, but you keep saying, like... And she kept acting super childish, too. I don't know. It was kind of weird. That's kind of taboo, though. I mean, isn't that... That's what you would need to write books about. You need to write books about stuff that's taboo, but it's like... It doesn't need to be, like, the perfect amount of taboo. But can't you write books about, like, gay people? Aren't that still kind of, like, not super... Maybe it is. I don't know. I feel like... I mean... Again, all my knowledge about Japan is from anime, which is terrible. I need to get informed. Like, what am I doing? But anyway, I have gotten the impression that it's still not like super cool to be gay, and it's not like you can just like it's popular. Cause I mean, for example, like, of course there's a bunch of gay manga, but 99% of it is just for straight women, and also like yaoi is for straight women or shonai is for straight women, women, and also it's not like it usually isn't like, for example, Yuri on Ice. That was like really cool actually, because it was like, oh wow, this is actually not about, this isn't yaoi, this isn't shonai, it's a sports anime, it's a different genre, but they're still gay, which is really cool because it's not like, it doesn't have to be the whole thing. It could be just like a side plot. That's something. Oh yeah, Murakami has a bunch of LGBT characters. That's really cool actually. I forgot that. Does he have a bunch? I think, I mean, I know he has in one book, but again, I'm not gonna spoil it because that's a really happy surprise. Oh yeah, no, he has in one, two, he has in several books. He has a bunch of LGBT characters. That's really cool. And he, yeah, and I think they're pretty well written too, his LGBT characters. But it's like, why won't you write about that though? Like, now you have this great thing, because soon it's gonna be like super. I mean, I hope so. Soon it's gonna be like a-okay to be gay, right? But right now it's still kind of like, so you jump on the chance of writing about gay people now, because now you're writing about something that's kind of taboo, but soon it won't be. So you don't have to write about pedophilia or like huge age gaps, because like it's cool now. Also, you could also just write, I don't know. It's so easy to write interesting stories that's like not super overdone, because you literally just add in representation and doesn't make it the whole. I mean, of course, it's boring when you make it the main thing. Like, oh, it's a romance story, cool, and like if the characters are like, it's like interracial, or if it's like a disabled person, but of course we just write them like it's of course like it's part of them, and you can't like deny it or ignore it. But it's like, why do everyone just write like monoracial couples? And of course the Japanese writers write Japanese people, but why doesn't American writers write about, I mean, some do, a lot of people do. I mean, Michael Grant is great. I really like his books, and it was so cool. I saw, like, I was talking Animorphs. Have you read that? Like, that is the coolest series ever. I mean, it was messed up, and I can't believe it's children's book by K.A. Applegate, and Michael Grant also worked with it on it, kind of, because it was his wife's book. So they kind of wrote together, but she was the main writer, I think. But and they said like, oh, was like Marco, or was Tobias like a trans character, and also was like Marco gay? I don't remember. And she was like, they're your characters, you can interpret them however you want. But and I wish we had done more for representation back then. Which is I just thought was really cool, because it was like the opposite of J.K. Rowling, because she was just like, oh yeah, they totally could be. Oh, I need to leave. Anyway, basically, I like Murakami. I didn't really like Strange Weather in Tokyo. I thought I didn't think the relationship, the characters were really cute, and I thought it would have been great if they were friends, like just like, oh, two lonely people who become friends. That would have been great. Like, everything doesn't have to be a romance, especially when it's like a weird age gap where she keeps saying how she's a child and he's like an old man, and they dated for like 5 years before he died. And it could have been great too if what was it? I don't know. I didn't super like the characters. I felt like, yeah, they were kind of like in between being well written, interesting with a lot of backstory and stuff, and like just quirky with two personality traits, and it was just like, but it was still enjoyable. I liked the book, but I also didn't like the book. So that's my feelings on that topic. Yeah, and I prefer Murakami. I do. I want to read another one. But I do feel like they write kind of similar. I definitely, like, the entire time I was like, oh, am I reading Murakami? Like, I kept almost forgetting, because, yeah, I think they write pretty similar. I mean, there's definitely differences, but, like, they were really similar. So, if you want to read a bad Murakami book, I'm sorry. I liked the book. I did like it, but it was just, yeah. So basically, to summarize, both Murakami and Kawakami has like easy to read, kind of short and fast-paced books. Um, they both have kind of quirky characters, but Murakami does it so much better. They also have kind of weird age gaps, and I still don't really know my feelings about Murakami's weird sex. I think that sometimes it's kind of like, are you, I mean, seriously? Okay, but I don't know, it kind of works, so, yes. But yeah, he also does that better, because what even was that? I don't know. I thought it was creepy and weird, and yeah. And also, and on magical realism, I don't know. I didn't like the weird dream part. That wasn't a dream; it was real, but it was. I don't know. I didn't like it. I like Murakami's weirdo stuff. It makes sense. I mean, it doesn't make sense in a way that makes sense. And this one was just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just dumb, but I didn't like it. I did not like it. So yeah, that's my feelings on this book and the how she relates to Murakami and like the comparison. And now I'm gonna go and visit my mom, and I am also for the next video. I guess I'm gonna read Big Sur, but I just don't want to. I actually Big Sur by Jack Kerouac, because like Desolation Angels is written in the last part of his life, where he's just like, I'm an alcoholic, I'm sad, I'm ugly, life is terrible, like everything sucks, and it's just like such a downer. I want to read something that inspires me, like on the road, which is why I'm considering reading Visions of Cody, even though it's like 600 pages long, and I don't want to read a long book. Oh my god, I look so cute today. But I don't know, and I actually really do want to read what I want to read. I want to read a book. Oh yeah. Oscar Wilde. I want to read the Dorian Gray thingy by Oscar Wilde, because I posted a picture on Instagram recently. Follow me on Ira Joanna. So it's like my name, EIRA JOHANNAH. Yes. Had to kind of remember if I spell. It's really difficult to spell in English, and also my second name is not my real name; it's my Catholic name, because I was confirmed in the church. It's not on my birth certificate or anything. So it was like, did I add an H to my name? I took it from Jeanne d'Arc, because I was like obsessed with her. She was like the coolest person ever. I like fell in love in 6th grade when we learned about her. Anyway, oh my god, I just remember I had to like post some mail today. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, my Instagram, because I posted a picture of Oscar Wilde, so I was like, let me add like a funny quote, or let me add a quote by him, and I found like, and I'm not really a quote person, but I was like, okay, it's a picture of him, because I took a picture of an airplane. Since I was in Sweden, I took a picture of an airplane that had like his face on it, because the airplanes do that now. And then I found like, it was like true friends stab you in the front, which I was like, and I wrote that, and also like Oscar Wilde and Bring Me the Horizon, because Bring Me the Horizon sings that in one of their songs. I went to 2 of their concerts. The first time was just because my best friend like loved it, and I was like, okay, sure. We were at the music festival, and I was like, okay, yeah, it sounds fun, and I had the blast. It was like the best it was the best concert I was at the entire festival, even though like there were bands there that I have loved in my entire life, but like Bring Me the Horizon was just so much fun. We had like vodka, and like we could smoke it. It was like outside, and like the mosh pits were like super fun and super nice, and so that's why I went to a second concert of them, even though I still don't listen to them. But the songs are also really easy to like remember, and I kind of like them. I don't know. I don't really know. When would I ever be in the mood except for a concert to listen to like people screaming? I guess maybe I could like scream, like if I have a bunch of feelings, I could be like, true friends stab you in the front. Maybe I could do that. I have never tried that. I'm just like, I have feelings. Let me just play on my ukulele. I'm like, have fun. Is my ukulele here? Yes, it is. Ah, this is so cute. Like it fit. Actually, I don't know how to play the ukulele. I mean, I can play. I'm just very bad at it. I'm very bad at it. This is like not what this video is supposed to be about. And I also play the piano really badly. Oh yeah, my Instagram, Oscar. Oh yeah, because I wanted to read those. I was supposed to be talking about what books I'm gonna read next. So maybe I'll go to the library tomorrow and borrow that book. Maybe, or maybe I will read Big Sur because like, it is really short though. It's like 200 pages. So maybe, but it's not the 200 pages that Strange Weather in Tokyo is, because it's like he writes so difficult. My brain hurts. I'm dumb. I don't understand. I don't speak English. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I know what's going on, but it's difficult, but I have to. Do I have to? I mean, I'm making this up myself. I'm like, I'm gonna read every single Kerouac book, but I don't really even like them. Like, I mean, I like them, but it's dumb. Why am I reading so much Kerouac when I don't even want to? It's just because it's like watching a TV series. Like, I don't like not finishing stuff. And it's really stressful while I'm watching too. Like, for example, I don't know, like if I'm watching Voltron and I'm like, oh no, I haven't seen the last 3 episodes. Now I'm gonna be like hella stressed, and also I can't like Google them because then I'm gonna be spoiled. I mean, I'm not really worried about spoilers on Kerouac. Oh yes, I remembered I was gonna borrow. Which book was it? I wrote it down in my journal to read Joyce Johnson's Minor Characters, because she was dating Jack Kerouac when he wrote On the Road. That's so cool. Oh yeah, I'm gonna read that book next. Or Big Sur if I'm too lazy to go to the library. Or if I'm also, I have a bunch of books though. The Master and the Margarita. Is that the translation? I don't know. I am very confused. But yeah, I have a bunch of books that I want to read, and and I have a bunch of books that I don't want to read, but I also have to read them because, like I was talking about with this series, like I just feel really stressed out, and I also feel stressed out while watching it, because it's like, oh no, I want to be done with it, but which is why I loved Over the Garden Wall, because it was so short. But it's also really sad though, because I like watching them. It's just I'm stressed that I have a bunch left. And I feel like I just have to finish Kerouac, even though it's dumb, because it's like, oh, I should think about the book, each book, but it's like, no. Maybe I could wait with reading more Kerouac until I stop being dumb and like learn more English, maybe. But I'm not gonna learn anyway. I mean, maybe that would work if I just read other books that are easier, because literally everything is easier than Kerouac because of his long ass sentences and like silly word. Actually, I started reading Homestuck again, and Homestuck uses a bunch of difficult words, like so many, like no one would know what ascend and descend means and abscond if it wasn't for Homestuck, like all the time. And a bunch of the humor is just they say something like silly goof, and then they like just use more words, but it's basically just like from a thesaurus, which is really funny. But that's also just words that no one ever uses, so why am I okay with, I guess it's because it's like pictures and it's a comic, so, but it's still, and also like their writing quirks, it's really difficult to read. Why is Kerouac so much more difficult when it's like Homestuck uses hella difficult words, and it's hella confusing, but it's still simple, I guess. And this can also be really boring too, like you can be some really, really boring pages and like interludes or whatever, so I don't know. Why do I hate reading Kerouac so much? Why do I keep reading Kerouac when I hate it so much? Is it because I want to be cool? Is it? I don't know. That's bad. I'm trying not to be like that. Also, I can't believe I waited. I didn't want to read Murakami because I thought he was like a hipster and to like or like just only loser hipster read him, and also that he was really difficult. But then he's really simple, and yes, a bunch of hipsters do read him. But I wish like I started reading him a couple years ago, because then I could be like, because he's like I love John Green, but I couldn't be reading it now. I'm 20 years old. I am a woman, but as a teenager, as a little girl, it was great. I mean, I was like, yeah, this is cool. I love this, and I'm really happy that I could read John Green when I was like 13 or whatever. I don't know, because it's good books for children. I mean, yeah. So, and I wouldn't have liked it now, but like I wish I had read David Levithan, who he also worked on Will Grayson with John Green, and I wish I had read his books when I was younger, because I tried to borrow them in the library when I was like 16 or no, I think, yeah, I was like 16, 17. I was 17 or 16, 17, and I just realized like, no, I don't like these books. Like, I would have loved them if I was like 12 or 13. So if you're 12 or 13, go and read David Levithan, because I should have, but I didn't, and I regret that. Because my favorite John Green book when I was like 13 was Will Grayson, and the part I liked in Will Grayson was David Levithan's part. I didn't even like John Green's part, so I really should have been reading him, but I didn't, and now it's too late. It's just, I'm not enjoying it anymore. It's boring. I've read similar stories before. It's like, I don't know. Okay, well, I have to go visit my mom now, and oh, it's so cold outside. Oh, I don't want to go outside. Ooh, I should learn that one on piano. You know how I'm learning? Ah, I can't talk about this. Anyway, maybe I should just. Anyway, I love you, my friend who remains unnamed, my friend in Korea, who's the only one watching this. Maybe he's not even watching it. Am I just talking to myself or my future self? Whatever. Or my children, and they're gonna be like, wow, my mom was either so lame or so dumb, or also she was gorgeous, because I really am. This is so fun. I really hope I can show this to my little sister or my children. Actually, no, this is really embarrassing. I'm probably gonna be like, in a year, I'm gonna be like, are you kidding me? Like, you sound so dumb right now. But whatever, English is difficult, which is my excuse for why I'm sounding so dumb. And also, I'm just babbling, and I'm trying to talk really fast because I don't know how to edit videos, and I'm too tired to do it, and so I have to talk fast. But I'm not talking fast, I'm just talking crap. Okay. Wait, let me get that cool. Ukulele. Haha. It's not like the ending shot is what's the picture. Oh, I figured out how to do the pictures in the thumbnail, which is really cool. Okay, so yeah, I didn't like the book. I kind of liked the book. It was weird, and I like Murakami. But I wish I had started reading him when I was like 15 or something. I don't know. Bye.